The boy selection without objection.
Hello Bingo fans and welcome back to Jet Set Radio Future Bingo Season 5. It's time to see how the game is played. Race your way through the streets of Tokyo to complete your board objectives, and for every soul, character and graffiti completed, your points will go up. But look out, no one wants to get sniped to a square. Ooh, yikes. If you can collect 5 squares in a row, you'll receive a bingo and an additional 2 points. But if you think it's that easy, you've never seen bingo before. Oh, and one more thing, in this tournament no one gets to take a shortcut. If your character dies, you'll have to go all the way back to the same spot before you can continue. Good luck, it's time to play Jet Set Radio Future Bingo. And today we have the first in a bingo double bill, featuring 2 matches from our magical green team, 7th Ace and Sylvie T from Team Fantastic 3. And for their first match today, we've got them going up against the purple team, Nyarsonists and Jakiaz from Team Nyarsonists. And in the commentators box today, we've got the duo that ended up not going to the Naturist convention because they had nothing to wear. It's Eclopicious and Ryomi.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Jet Set Radio Future Bingo for a double bill of bingo. Today we're going to round out the round robin with our first match between the Nyarsonists and the Fantastic... That is a mouthful. Have I ever said that before? The Fantastic Three. I think that's the first time I might have said that out loud. Anyway, so these are the two teams that are going to be playing first, and then the Fantastic Three will be taking on the Cozy Bunnies later, I believe.
Yeah.
And today we've got, as you can hear, Ryomi on commentary with me. For your insight, as always, much appreciated. And our first board has been revealed. So, what do we see for the first time? Not a massive Shibuya start.
Yeah, I'm surprised. But, row 3 and 4 look kind of good. Go for it.
Yeah, we got a lot of Kogane here that seems pretty powerful. And also for the first time in one of the games that I've commentated, it feels like Benton is actually very strong. It has felt like, I think, Benton has been kind of the weaker area so far with the boards that we've had this season. But we've got Center of Dark, we've got Entrance Pillar. Those are always great starts. And then, let's see, there's 2 in Highway 0.
Is this the first time we've seen Shibuya Spray in a game?
I think this is season? Also, yeah. This is the first Shibuya Spray. We've had the other 2, and all 3 are short routes, 3 graffitis, all short. No mad rush to Shibuya off the beginning. Strong Benton, strong Kogane. This is a nice board. This is a lot different to what we've been seeing so far. And looks like a couple of good options in Benton to begin with, and Sewers looks pretty strong as well. You got Entrance, you got Air 4, you've got the Rail, so 2 defaults right at the beginning. And then Trix is in Sewers as well. 3 of those on the row 5. This could be a really exciting board right off the bat, just to see where everybody goes. Because I don't think there's one easy, kind of straightforward start here.
Yeah, this is a really good game. Well board. It turned into a very good game, I think.
Yeah, I think what we're going to see here is, as Jakey goes off to Kogane and Ney goes off to Benton, this was what I was expecting from both teams, but instead, the Fantastic Three are sending Sylvie into Shibuya. Now, we did say Shibuya is relatively weak, and there's nothing that's particularly quick there. Dogen Air 3 doesn't suck, but it's Sylvie heading straight into Shibuya Terminal here, with pretty much just the graffiti on the board. She might just go for this straight away.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, she's playing with Ace, so, you know, there might be some sort of strategy there.
Well, she's headed into Chuo, and the only thing in Chuo is Chuo graffiti, so this might just be a very, very, very early graffiti here for the Fantastic Three, knowing that the likelihood of Sylvie being contested here is practically 0. And the Nyarsonists are going to work on picking up these early default souls as we expected, but the interesting, Ney actually skips Entrance Pillar here, perhaps anticipating that someone else would be getting it. But Ace sees Center of Dark get marked, turns around, and leaves, immediately heading out, likely to go Kogane here, which I really like. Good read, good reaction there from Ace, as Jakey is picking up the defaults in Sewers. And now I wonder, how does Ney respond here, given that Ace is yet to mark a square? They're just going to head deeper into Darkside here and into Sky Diner, where we've got Grind. We got the default platform is Swing. That is not that soul. Platform is... Oh no, sorry, it's platform is Starting. I can't read. Never mind. I thought it was the...
I always get confused by those. Well,
yeah, the platform near the Swing and the platform near the Starting Spiral, yeah. Never mind. Ney is correct. So, a strong start here for the Nyarsonists, kind of establishing early board control with the defaults. And I wonder, what they're thinking right now, given that the Fantastic Three have only marked 1 square at Center of Dark. Nyarsonists might be assuming that they've sniped Ace up until this point, but Ace is actually just into RDH and is going to mark their first square with Sauna. RDH graffiti is on the board as well, so this is a very kind of avoidant game style, I suppose, from the Fantastic Three, where they are just deciding to go where the opponents aren't. They're not going to get sniped, they're just going to get confirmed points which are unlikely to be contested.
I'm trying to figure out what Ace is playing.
Yeah, I think what we need to do perhaps is look at where the squares are on the board, the ones that they're picking up. And Sauna's not particularly strong. Center of Dark was just kind of a scouting mission, I think, right off the beginning there. So Ace now moving into Sewers, and Sewers does look pretty strong here. Jakey already revealed, but did move into bottom point and has yet to... oh no, they marked Tricks. Yeah, okay. So Ace knows that Jakey's in bottom point, and that means that they can work on what is here in Sewers, which is Air 4. There is also... there's another one, I believe. Yeah, Tricks 45. So Ace is just using information really effectively at the beginning of this game just to get a clean idea of where to go on the map, where they're not going to be contested and not going to get sniped. But this does mean that Nyarsonists are able to set up a really strong early board control, 6 points to 2 right now.
Yeah. I really don't know what Fantastic 3 are planning. I'm like trying to figure out.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think what they're doing is they're playing to their strengths, right? They know that in terms of like experience with the game and with bingo, they're at a disadvantage because Sylvie is very, very new to the game. And this is what they've done in their previous game, is put Sylvie in places where she's not going to get sniped. And where she's not going to be kind of on a time budget. And I like that. But that, in this game in particular, puts Ace in an awkward position because they can't be everywhere on the board, right? And in a scouting mission off of the beginning to know where the opponents are going to be, and picking up Center of Dark in that process, they decided to head out into Kagane, but then kind of the quick defaults in Kagane got picked up by Jakey, so like... yeah, it's just been like Ace has just kind of been second place to everything so far on the board, and it's getting to the point now where the Nyarsonists just have too much control to come back from. They're going to start threatening bingos across the board for too terribly long, and I think the Fantastic 3 are going to have too many fires to put out here.
Yeah. But at least Sylvie's this graffiti route so she can go do things after.
Yeah, I think, honestly, there's a real likelihood that Sylvie goes straight from Chuo into Shibuya Graffiti. Because Nei's even deeper in Dark Side now with Highway 0. Let's see if they go for the Tricks unlock into the tape, by the way. Love that. And Jakey is still in Kogane. So Sylvie, realistically, can pick up both of these graffitis, and then suddenly, that's 6 points on the board, and that puts them right back in the game. But how many points are Nyarsonists going to get in that time, and how much is the sheer amount of squares they're picking up going to make the difference?
Yeah, they gotta watch out for column 1, row 1, and column 3, which is not a very good start to.
Now, given that Ace, who is struggling to pick up Air 4 here, given that Ace is in Kogane, they might just go into RDH and it might just be like a 3 graffiti game for the Fantastic 3, which mathematically makes a degree of sense, but like you said, they have to be careful of those bingos, because right now you've got Hikage Grind, or Kibo Air, or Highway 0 Tricks to block the row 1. Highway 0 Tricks is basically off the cards, right? So you have to either send Sylvie into Hikage, or Ace into Kibo to block that row 1. RDH Graffiti itself would block the column 1, so that's less of a problem. It would also block the row 3, so it's a pretty strong bet in terms of denying bingos. But if they want to avoid getting bingoed, someone has to go on row 1. Someone has to do something about that row 1.
Yeah, I think Ace is gonna do RDH now, or do they realize that it's just bait?
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, both teams kind of have this RDH spray to play with in terms of information, where it would be the obvious play for Nyarsonists to go for it to an extent, because it sets them up for pretty much a game-winning play. I wonder, do they respect Ace and say, Ace is probably going to go and contest that, and now Ace might be like going with the 4D chess and saying, well, they expect me to go there to contest it because I should, so what if I don't do that and start up Shibuya Graffiti or go to Hikage to deny the row 1?
Yeah, I think Sylvie should have went to RDH.
I don't hate at least starting the Shibuya spray here. I think maybe Sylvie could have dipped into Hikage and got grind. But we'll see. I mean, the points have closed.
Good, like, bait though if they don't go for REH.
Yeah, if
it seems
Ney,
like they're skipping it.
yeah, if Ney commits to something somewhere on the map before they figure out where Ace and Sylvie are, that gives Ace the chance to maybe get back into RDH and start that up ahead of Nyarsonists. But Jakey is now done in Kogane, and they could go for the RDH here. Let's see just how aggressive the Nyarsonists are. And it may not even be a thing about being aggressive. It may just be that they're working with not a whole lot of... go on. But yeah, they're not working with a massive amount of information. The Fantastic Three aren't giving them a lot of information. So making the right call in this situation can be difficult because you have to kind of second guess your opponent and third guess your opponent and fourth guess your opponent. Jakey looks to be leaving.
Yeah, they're not going for
RDH
at all. This is a turnaround actually. So
yeah, I think
it'll be fine.
this is a really smart way of playing the game from the Fantastic Three, and this is what I was excited to see about this team.
You gotta praise the early graffiti because it looks like it's working.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, playing to their strengths and also just using that huge brain that Ace has. And like withholding information and scouting for information. There's the bingo denied on the row 1. And now this is the first time in a while that the Nyarsonists actually have an idea of where the Fantastic Three are on.
Let's go. Alright, Ace has free reign for this, but now Jakey's gonna do speedy, and Ney's on their way there, so they may co-op this.
But maybe the Fantastic Three can afford to give this one up. The Shibuya is not a strategically important square, I don't think. There's ways of denying that bingo. Do they have the point budget to do so? Right now, 3 points behind. It would put Nyarsonists in a pretty comfortable position. Let's see, though. Sylvie did pre-spray it a little bit, but it's going to be a very hard ask, I think, to beat Jakey and Ney both in the area, co-oping it up. So let's see if Sylvie commits to the Shibuya, or if she moves elsewhere on the map and starts picking up some more points, which I think maybe might be the right call. But again, we have perfect information, right? We know exactly where the Nyarsonists are. We don't know how well the Fantastic Three are working with that information.
She's committing. Wow.
Yeah, this is rough, but this Shibuya will get finished very, very quickly by Nyarsonists, so this isn't like a massive commitment of time for Sylvie before she finds out that the Nyarsonists are here and doing this. Yeah, for me, the question is, where does she go afterwards? And there's also the point at which, you know, it's been a little while since either of the Nyarsonists marked a square. Maybe they figure out that the Nyarsonists are perhaps committing to one of these graffiti routes. But with 2 of them on the board, and the RDH being kind of the elephant in the room being on that bingo, it's a hard guess for the Fantastic Three to me. This is a really smart game, and honestly, what I've loved to see about this is kind of the battle of wits between the strategy of the 2 teams and Ace versus their former mentee, Jakey. These 2 strategic geniuses. So let's see. Shibuya is still not finished, but Sylvie is leaving. So they may have finally figured out that there is the danger of getting sniped. And this does get Sylvie out ahead into Dogen, where there is special, which, you know, it's not great. Well, this is a very, very slow way out of Dogen.
They win with these squares. It's a good co-op. So I don't know why Jake is all the way down. On the way down.
Yeah, this is a smart way of doing the Dogen squares here.
This was a good
finish the game.
I didn't think that Chuo Graffiti that early would that's full play, but Ace.
Yeah, I mean it's a smart way of playing the game, to play to your strengths and to withhold information in the way that the Fantastic Three did. I think it's just the raw number of points that the Nyarsonists were able to acquire in the early game, just based on this board having such strong Benton and Kogane, I think is kind of what was the undoing of the Fantastic Three here.
Imagine if Sylvie just finds like a Dogen Mega Oob and just gets both these squares.
exactly are the Nyarsonists doing right here? I don't think they've quite figured out what they're doing in this co-op situation.
They're trying to choose which one is going to unlock the gold.
Well, it's a brief moment of hesitation, which means that Sylvie is now heading down the high street with the tape in hand. Unfortunately, if she'd done the conventional lap around Dogen, it probably would have been a little bit faster, but either way, I don't think it makes a difference versus co-op.
Can you unlock a special by grinding
Yep.
the middle row?
You can. As far as I know, I believe you can. But leaving that area is not going to do it. So
Did you get Air 3?
there's air. Oh, and it does still unlock special. Wow, okay. Sylvie's got the strats. I thought if you headed down into this this kind of sloped area here that it wouldn't work. So both souls unlocked. But Air 3 has been taken, and Sylvie needs to know which one's which here. But she's heading back for Air 3. I think, okay, with the information that Nyarsonists are in Dogen, she's just going to leave. And yeah, it's been a very strong co-op game from the Nyarsonists, doubling up on the Shibuya and then into Dogen as well.
Yeah.
Running with that lead that they had early, and then just really giving very minimal chance for a comeback for the Fantastic Three, who were just too far spread across the board, I think, in this game. This is a really, really interesting strategic game, though. But with those Dogen souls, the Nyarsonists do lock in the win to game 1 with their 16 points. But hey, we're going to clear out the board, because we love to do that.
Yes. It's hard to, like... It's hard to know if that RDH spray was going to be a bait or not. So Ace was basically, like, forced to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it went back and
good.
forth this game, really, that kind of... that hot potato of the RDH graffiti, right?
Yeah, if they would have stood in Shibuya after leaving Hikage and, like, giving it to Sylvie, I think they probably would have won. If they co-op Shibuya,
Yeah, I
they
mean...
would have won.
There were so many things happening in this game at any given point in terms of threats on the board for both teams, and both teams having to work with limited information. That the on-the-fly shot calling to move from place to place, to bail on certain things, to move and change your priorities in the middle of the game, I think was really, really strong. I really enjoyed watching this first game.
Yeah, there's only so many brain cells Ace has.
I mean, I honestly think that they're unlimited, but the limit here came in just being more spread out across the board. Like, because of the starting moves from both teams, the Nyarsonists had kind of advantage in Benton and advantage in Kogane, and that's kind of what made the big point difference in the early game, which was just maybe a little bit too much for the Fantastic Three to come back from. They kind of were playing catch-up for the rest of the game, and though they did a very, very good job of doing it, and then trying to bait out moves from the opponents, and successfully doing that with the RDH graffiti. Yeah, just that raw number of points at the beginning was a bit too much. But yeah, I mean, a good board for this game as well, in that we had that strong Kogane and that strong Benton, and that Shibuya for once wasn't the completely dominant area on the board. I like boards like this.
Yeah, I think this was the first board where, like, there wasn't more than one Shibuya square in it.
Yeah, and there were no, like, very, very quick Shibuya defaults, right? There was, were there any Shibuya defaults? There was...
I think it was just graffiti.
There was Shibuya graffiti, and then in the wider area, there was, like, Hikage grind, there was Dogen air.
No default.
Looking at the board, yeah, no Shibuya defaults. So that's a welcome change, because those squares are very frequently highly, highly contested in the early game, and I think it's good for players to have boards like this so that they have they can broaden their pool of strategy instead of just look at board. Oh, there's a Shibuya default. We get that, right?
Oh yeah, I know a lot about that.
So last square on the board here will be the Sky Dino Special, the notorious Sky Dino Special. Sylvie's there. Ace is as well. Jakey's in there.
Jakey is dead.
Nate is on the way.
Oof, and so is Sylvie.
Ace is one hit away, which is just terrifying in Sky Dino, but there are cats here. They'll be alright. I think, yeah, this, just kind of looking at where the Fantastic 3 puts Sylvie, like, a lot of the time it's in an area that's not going to be contested, or it's somewhere like Shibuya or Dogen, where things are pretty straightforward, all things considered. Like, you rarely see the Fantastic 3 sending Sylvie into Sky Dino, for example.
Yeah.
These, like, particularly very, very difficult areas, which I think is just, again, playing to your strengths. I think it's a smart way to do it. And with the board cleared out 19 to 12, the Nyarsonists take game 1.
Good first game.
Very good first game. I think this will be one to watch back for the intricacies of the strategy. I'll be really interested to hear what the players have to say about that as well. I know both Jakey and Ace love talking strategy after a game finishes, so definitely quiz them about that one.
And now the next board will have at least 10 Shibuya squares.
Oh yeah, I mean, as is tradition, right? It's going to be cubby, platform, top of bus. Let's throw like Hikage Center floating in there as well. Chuo F4.
I think I may die if all those squares are there. Oh.
It would be a change of pace. What do we got?
Oh, you were
Shibuya
right.
cubby.
Hikage Center floating?
That's not too bad. I mean, Shibuya Cubby and Hikage being on the same row is interesting, because that's immediately kind of an early threat, but when you look at what else is there, it's like FRZ Air, 99 Special, STPP Air. Like, fortunately, that doesn't build into an immediate bingo threat. Then there's the column 1, which is Chuo Points, Dogen Grind, Shibuya Cubby. Again, it's like, yeah, there's 3 Shibuya, but they're not super, super fast, right? And then there's the 3 Shibuya on row 2, which is Chuo Points, Shibuya Special, and Chuo Special. So,
But
though
hey,
there
at
are
least
some
we have,
decent...
we have Highway Zero graffiti. Let's go.
Yeah! My perfect, beloved, best square in the game. Yeah, so another weaker Shibuya. This one does have some of the quicker defaults, so we might see a little bit of contention there early. Highway Zero Graffiti is a very quick route, though you are committing to very, very deep Benton. What can you get on the way is the question. You've got Light Wall Ride is not particularly quick to get in and out right at the beginning of the game. Not the best quick default. Then there's Top of Observatory. And then pretty much everything else in Benton is pretty slow. So if you're going out to Highway Zero, you're going to be committing to a long time in Darkside. And I wonder if that's perhaps where where the Fantastic 3 sends Sylvie, right? Because though there's a lot of points in Benton, it feels relatively low priority. Column 4 is certainly an elephant in the room here with the 4 Benton souls. Yeah. But it's FRZ Tube Soul to clinch it, and then it's Top of Observatory, 2 other squares in SDPP. It would be interesting. I don't know if it would be good, but it could be done.
This is a weird board, and it's gonna be played weird. But I do want to see if someone goes for Highway Zero Graffiti early.
Yeah. And then you got Hikage Graffiti, the other graffiti on the board here. Pretty long, pretty punishing routes, but could be co-opted. Alright, so we're off, and it looks like Nate into Benton, Jakey into Benton. Are they going to go for this column 4? Just straight off the bat, co-op it?
This would be massive if they... Alright, Ace, let's see.
No boostless bus jump. And it is double Shibuya for Fantastic 3. Okay, so a very, very different start to the game this time around. Shibuya Cubby is picked up for the Fantastic 3. As Light Wall Ride goes over to the Nyarsonists. Should be the trade of the very minimal early defaults here. Ace going to pick up that soul and then immediately dip. And Sylvie heads in to Chuo Street once more.
Chuo?
Chuo's got a couple of souls.
Points and special.
Points and special, yeah, on that bingo. Shibuya specials there, and then it's bottom point and SDPP, so that row 2 is a pretty tricky one, but again, for the Fantastic Three, it is early points that won't be contested, I think, is the play here. And then Ace is going to head out to Benton. And it's worth noting that though the Nyarsonists doubled up into Benton Show, it is an early Highway 0 graffiti for Jakey, whilst Nay is working on 99 unlocks. So the amount of information that Fantastic 3 have as to where the Nyarsonists are is somewhat limited right now. Let me see. It was Nay that marked both those squares so far, so the Fantastic 3 don't know where Jakey is whatsoever. Similarly, the Nyarsonists don't know where Sylvia is. So
Ace just got sniped.
that's painful. Yeah, and with that limited information on where exactly everybody is, Ace goes into Benton Show here, doesn't know that both the Nyarsonists are here. So this is kind of a dangerous place for Ace to be right now, lest they get sniped again to something else. But what's the read from Ace here? SCPP is pretty strong with 3 souls on the board in that column. Trying to go for the Death Walk, doesn't hit it.
What is
Anything
Ace
deeper?
trying?
There's Skydino Grind, Skydino Tricks as well on the row 5. But that's pretty rough with the Hikage Graffiti. And then FRZ Tube and Kibo Boogie. There's nothing that really stands out to me on this board as like the #1 go-to strategy, right? Like everything feels kind of bad in terms of like bingos and the Hikage Graffiti and like there's not that many great defaults. This is a pretty hard game to strategize, I think.
Yeah, and Ace is only coming out here for 2 squares?
Yeah, all the way to Sky Dino just for those 2 squares, which strategically don't feel very strong. The amount of time they've committed to this, it's been 5 points on the board in Benton Show for the Nyarsonists as the Highway 0 graffiti gets locked in. Ace hasn't marked anything since Shibuya Cubby, so the Nyarsonists don't necessarily know where they are. This might bait Jakey into Sky Dino, but there's a possibility that that could at least be a trade. If Ace can get both Sky Dino souls here and get out while Jakey is kind of working their way towards the tape, that could be a little bit of a change in momentum in the favor of the Fantastic 3.
Yeah, also Fantastic 3 are setting up column 1, maybe? That is there.
It is. It's going to be Sylvie working towards Dogen Grind by the looks of things.
But Nay's closer to Sewers, so...
Yeah, but that would at least kind of force the Nyarsonists to respond. If you put that threat on the column 1 and you say, hey, we're going to get this, Nay might have to stop what they're doing and then go into Sewer's points, which is not a quick soul. So it might just be the Fantastic 3 trying to bait that.
And there's also a lot of other points in Sewers, so you got FRZ, bottom point, Kibo.
Yeah, it's a pretty strong area in terms of points, but they're not quick. Nothing on this board is quick, to be fair.
Yeah, this board sucks.
And for the Fantastic 3, things have worked out decently in Sky Dino in that Ace gets to tricks pretty much at the time that Jakey gets the tape. So it's going to be a race here to grind, but it looks like Ace is slightly ahead. Just being in the area slightly ahead is going to pick up grind, which means Jakey gets nothing for a commitment to Sky Dino, which is a little rough for the Nyarsonists, and that's the swing I think the Fantastic 3 were looking for.
And that also blocked the bottom left, top right, so...
Yeah, we haven't really even thought about the diagonals so far, but the diagonals, to be fair, aren't much better.
Yeah.
Kibo doesn't suck, though, with Undertower and Boogie on the top left to bottom right. Sua's on that as well. But
May's committing
platform.
to 100K.
This is a very early commitment to 100k, but like we said, that is the bait that the Fantastic 3 set up. So they know that Nay's going to be locked in Sewers for a fair amount of time here to get that soul. That's good time that they can work with to pick up some more points. And this game for the Fantastic 3 has started off a lot stronger in that they are threatening a bingo and that they're only 2 points behind. And like we said, the issue for them in game 1 was, though they had a very strong strategy, they just weren't picking up enough points in the early game. This time they got a much better shot.
Yeah, rip Sylvie, by the way. She had to commit to a lap.
Dogen.
Is that like
She's
the
working
big
for
bingo
grind
this
here.
season? Everyone committing to a lap. Krabby, Sylvie.
Yeah, yeah.
The only two. Let me knock on wood before it happens to me.
All right, so yeah, Sylvie's going to be stuck doing another lap of Dogen here, which is going to slow her down. But fortunately, Ney is locked in sewers. Jakey is still leaving Darkside right now after getting nothing in Sky Dino. I might turn this around and try and look for something here in SDPP, since there are a lot of points here. There's Point Soul, there's Top of Observatory, and then there's Air 4. And that does still build into a bingo, but Ace might be just cutting that bingo off at the pass here, working on FRZ, which then starts to threaten a row 5, which again isn't a quick and easy soul to or a bingo to deny, with Unlock Boogie or Hikage Spray to block that. If Ace can get Tube Soul and then get into Kibo, pick up Under Tower, pick up Boogie, suddenly the Fantastic Three are threatening a bunch of stuff across the board.
Yeah, I think Sylvie's gonna start Graffiti now, is she? Yep. This is a really good play.
Yeah, again, Fantastic Three putting Sylvie in a place where she's not going to be contested, because at the moment, there's no real threat with this Hikage Graffiti, right? It's suddenly going to appear. Yeah, Sewers
is sewer ratting.
Oh, Sewers. But yeah, this is a really smart move from the Fantastic Three, because they can set Sylvie here into Hikage, just get some sprays done, and before it's even a threat, they have progress on it, right? So then they can even move in and try and clinch that bingo and graffiti. If not, they bait someone into Hikage Graffiti, right?
They gave up. Man, I wish I could hear the comms right now.
Yeah, I mean, Sewers is like this awful sunk cost fallacy sometimes in a bingo game where you're like, okay, I'm going to give myself X amount of attempts on the climb, and then I'll have wasted too much time.
Ace! If Ace goes back to sewers for this one square, oh my god.
Can you imagine? Like, this was really smart from Fantastic 3 in just sending the Nyarsonists to the worst places on the map. Right? Like, baiting Jakey into Sky Dino, Jakey gets nothing in Sky Dino. Baiting Ney into Sewers, Ney messes up the climb. And even if Ney doesn't mess up the climb, Sewers points is still a really long soul to get. And then there's the building threat of the Hikage Graffiti, which also sucks. There's so many squares on the board here that you can do that with. Like, 13 platforms is another one. Top of Observatory is another one. There are so many souls, so many squares that you can send people to, knowing that they are going to spend forever trying to get them.
Oh, man.
Another really, really strong strategic game here from the Fantastic Three. Still behind on points, but now threatening bingos on column 1 and row 5.
Yeah, Ney is... I'm pretty sure Ney is screaming right now. They are punching air as we speak.
Ney now into Kibo. Has to go to Boogie to deny the potential row 5 bingo. And now what do the Fantastic Three do with this? It is going to be Ace leaving FRZ, I would imagine.
Ace needs to go for this square, please.
If Ace goes for Sewers points and clinches this bingo, this would be... I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it would be heartbreaking for the Nyarsonists. It's going to happen, isn't it? Oh my goodness. Like, this is... And we talked a lot about strategy and, like, good strategy so far this game, but this one is kind of more like adapting to the game that you're seeing unfold before you, right? Like, I don't think the Fantastic Three said, we are going to get this Sewers point soul, and we're going to get this bingo. They just set it up as a bait. They set it up to kind of occupy the Nyarsonists and make them respond. The fact that Ney messed things up and didn't go for it means that suddenly that is actually a viable strategy, which I don't think is what... Oh, no. I don't think that's what the Fantastic Three had planned, but just given where Ace is on the board right now, where they are on the map, they can do something about that.
Yeah, but they also have to watch out for column 5, because Jakey's doing Jazz and Ney is unlocking Boogie.
Right. So Sylvie is in Hikage.
Sylvie to partial and just block that.
I think if Sylvie responds immediately to this building threat, as soon as one of the characters is unlocked, she can perhaps go to Chuo's special and block this.
I'm banking on Ace telling her to get out and block that bingo.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much the only threat that the Nyarsonists have right now, really, is that column 5 bingo.
Yeah.
So I think there is a possibility that the Fantastic Three read that and say, hey, Sylvie, you got to go to Chuo right now.
Yeah. And also,
she does have tape as well, which is worth noting. She was in there previously, so it will be slightly quicker for her than anyone else. With Boogie locked in, Sylvie needs to respond now.
Yeah, she's dipping. She's getting the fuck out of there.
I hope. But, you know, that's good progress on the Hikage graffiti, uncontested, which means if the game comes down to it, that will be an advantage for the Fantastic Three. But with those two character unlocks on the board for the Nyarsonists, they threaten their own bingo, and it will be Jakey looking to leave Darkside and get to Chuo. Sylvie should have the advantage here.
Yeah, she has the lead.
Quite a significant lead in terms of time, but also having the tape is going to speed things up a little bit. Let's just hope that she can get that Chuo special unlock reliably. Ace is now up towards the top of sewers, looking for the 100k points unlock.
There we go.
Going to do so in style. Should be able to lock this one in, and that bingo makes things really good for the Fantastic Three. This will be...
Come on, Sylvie, you got this.
Closing the gap.
So they're going to get this bingo and then block this.
Oh, no, Ace!
Oh. And then they're going to have Hikage graffiti. I think that's game win, right? If they get
it. I still feel like anything can happen here. But even if Sylvie gets sniped to this Chuo special, which, you know, she has the advantage, so hopefully she doesn't. It would be a trade of bingos. It would then be also a trade of graffitis with the Hikage spray if we anticipate that going to the Fantastic Three.
I forgot about that.
Which means it pretty much just comes down to points. But with the bingo locked in for the Fantastic Three, it is 13 to 10, 16 points to win. Still a potential bingo for the Nyarsonists. Oh, Sylvie. These moments are just... Oh, they're too tense for me. I can't handle it.
So, she didn't hit the billboard. Does that matter?
I don't think you need to hit the billboard. I think you just need to stay on the first rail for a certain amount of time. She should be okay. This looks good to me, but, you know, special souls.
Billboard doesn't matter. Cool. Let's go.
Yes, it's unlocked for Sylvie. Still ahead of Jakey. It looks like maybe... Did Jakey mess it up? Jakey's going back to the start. Still a good advantage for Sylvie here. Could lock this in, denying the bingo, and really now starting to put the pressure on Ace out to Hikage, perhaps, to finish this one off, or maybe even into Chuo to co-op the special pickup. And then Sylvie can just dip, actually. I think that's what they're going to do here, is like just have Ace collect the soul, Sylvie go back into Hikage, perhaps. Because look at Sylvie's cans compared to Ace's.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this.
I also think maybe it's just a matter of Ace knows exactly where the soul is and the fastest way to get to it, and Sylvie might not. So again, kind of just playing to their strengths in that regard, but also, you know, the cans do help in terms of going back into Hikage and finishing off that route. Chuo special locked in, bingo denied from the Nyarsonists, and now they have to scramble to find some points to win this game. 2 for them to win. With the graffiti locked in for the Fantastic Three, it's still going to take a fair amount of time for them to do that. And then they still need to find another 2 points. So it's going to be a race to these last 2 souls on the map. 13 platforms, top of Observatory, 99th Special. None of these are quick. None of them are particularly easy.
Oh, they're gonna
Looks like Sylvie's heading out to Benton.
Also, Sylvie finished right side already. Maybe this Ace can win this?
The thing is, right now, for the Fantastic Three, is the priority should be on the souls and not the graffiti, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think if Ace had done 13 platforms here, this might be it. But the Nyarsonists are both in Hikage. There's still time for Ace to figure this out and do the maths and say, get 13 platforms, get top of Observatory. and then suddenly the graffiti wins them the game. They still have the advantage to it, but then with an Nyarsonist duo doubling up on the Hikage graffiti, oh man, this game could still go anywhere based on the decisions that two teams make right now. And execution certainly goes a long way, but I couldn't tell you how this one closes out.
Yeah, so
I think Ace needs to dip on the Hikage, but the Fantastic Three can't win without the graffiti. This is the issue that they're in. They need the graffiti to win, but they also need to deny those two souls. It's a lot for them to do in not a lot of time. Sylvie working on
I feel like Sylvie should have
special.
They should have co-opted this, but it's hard to know. Like,
yeah, like there's no easy decision to make right here. So Sylvie's gonna work on
the middle room after this, I think.
Yeah, the gap is closing quickly. 29 sprays right now for the Nyarsonists. But these last few do come through quite quickly in Hikage, in that center room.
Come on,
where are the sprays for the Nyarsonists is the question. I think they might just have the center room left themselves. They might have done left-right here. I wasn't paying perfect attention, but it looks like that's what they've done. So it's going to be just a 2v1 to get those center sprays. Ace has the slight lead right now. Oh no, Nay's heading off to the left side. So it's left side remaining.
Jakey had to get cans.
Jakey having some can crisis.
I think Ace could get this.
This would be a monumental snipe. This would be so huge for the Fantastic Three to clutch this here.
And Sylvie grabbed special already?
Looks like it.
Yeah, she did.
So top of Observatory, then 13 platforms remaining on the board here. Ace having a can crisis, but not many sprays left.
They have 10 more sprays for Nyarsonist.
10 to go for Nyarsonist.
And then the XL.
8. Oh, this is high stakes. High tension.
Ace needs 2 more.
Incredible scenes in JSRF Bingo. 2 to go. One of them's the Excel down at the bottom, I would imagine. But it's locked in for the Nyarsonists. The co-op comes through in the end, and that clinches the game and the match for the Nyarsonists. 2-0. But what a fantastic showing from the Fantastic Three.
Rip cans. Management in chat.
This, I'm going to call it, this was the best match of the season so far.
I agree.
I thoroughly enjoyed this one from start to finish. I loved just trying to figure out what the players were thinking and seeing all the depth of strategy and just seeing how quickly Ace and Sylvie have kind of worked together as a team to figure out their own strengths and to play to those. And the Nyarsonists as well, keeping up with that level of strategy that's been coming through, making the right calls and co-oping when it mattered the most in both games 1 and 2.
Yeah.
The co-op is what clinched it.
You're absolutely right.
And Nago is perfectly right in chat here. This is a great warm-up for the Fantastic Three, who still have another match to play against the Cozy Bunnies later today.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, you gotta be worried if they play this well. Could be in for an absolute banger of a second match to clinch the round robin standings. Which, as they stand right now,
I still want to hear the comms when Nay was doing the sewers climb. I wish I could.
Yeah, we'll maybe be able to get the perspective on that at the end of the match. This, fantastic game of bingo. Really, really good from both teams. Top of Observatory, the last soul on the board. We'll clean it out because that's what we love to do. But yeah, I mean, I went back and watched yesterday's match, and the general consensus of yesterday's match was, man, it was great that those matches weren't decided in the first 5 minutes, and that same applies here. You know, these were 2 matches that went really down to the wire, down to the last couple of squares on the board. Real marathons of 2v2 matches. Yeah, like, this one was pretty much decided around the 20-minute mark, and 2v2, that is a very, very long match.
You know, Sylvie's getting
Man,
better. She's
so-
adapting. She's being where she needs to be. Getting better.
Yeah, it's good improvement that's coming through from Sylvie as someone who is, I think it's fair to say, the newest to JSRF that we've ever had as a bingo player.
Yeah.
Like we've had plenty of newer runners come in and play bingo, but these are players who have maybe finished a couple of any percent runs, right? You know, who've had some time with the game. Sylvie is still very, very new to JSRF as a speedrun, and I've always said bingo is a great way to learn the game, so she's starting in the right place, I think. Great things to come, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The era of Australia. Man, I just saw Ace going for the frame boosts on these girders here and just immediately flashed back to STPP graffiti. The IL is rotting my brain.
GG's. Great games.
Yeah. Top of Observative locked in 18-3, a score that's not representative of how close this match was, I think. Really, really good stuff.
I think the first thing I need to ask Nay is what was their reaction to a sewers climb?
Let's see who wants to talk about that game, because that was just so freaking good. Whew. Man.
Hello.
Hey, welcome.
Oh.
And congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
So, Nay, what was your reaction to the sewers climb?
I don't know. I'm very confident in my sewers normally, and that crushed my confidence basically. So right after missing that last climb like 6 times, decided that I was not going to play properly for the rest of the game, pretty much.
And
So
it's
I was
crazy because that entire time you were doing it, Ace didn't even go for it.
I know, and I realized that, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to clean up. And then when I estimated that Ace was going to go for it, I just went to Fazi again and get air. I'm really pissed that I did not manage to block it because like I should have been there like super quick. It was like I was anticipating the bingo threat and I was going to go for it and like reap everything else. But you know, skill issues. I had a bunch of them.
Yeah. I also
But,
think Ace missed the climb like 3 times as well.
Yeah, there was a lot of
Yeah,
skill
Ace
issues
took
in
a lot.
sewers.
And the skill issue in Shibuya was funny as well. Like you get the unlock and you the accidental war ride to get special to fall down. That was really fun as well.
Yeah, what were you guys doing at Dogen where you both just stood there by
Oh, that was miscommunication.
I-
Like Jakey was supposed to get like Jakey told me, yeah, you go get the tape and I go get the souls. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, sure. I'm
Yeah.
going to get the tape and wait at like record store to get special, and you're going to get air.
You don't need to share
Jake
that. This is
decided,
so
no,
bad.
I'm going to go to record store and do a full lap. That's very efficient.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned it, but both those games were kind of clinched by your co-op plays, so you got that miscommunication out of your system, but it really did, in the end, the co-op was what clinched both games for you. And it was good to see that really was the difference.
Yeah, Ikage was fine.
The Hokage co-op was clean.
Ikage and Shibuya went fine both times, so I'm pretty happy with that. But
Ace would have gotten Hikage if they didn't have a canned crisis in the last room.
oh,
Sag.
don't have a kind crisis.
Yeah, it was
Big Sag.
it was like one or two sprays, I think, between it in the end.
He
And
just
they had
Yeah,
they had it pre-sprayed.
Sylvia had already done some of Hokage, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she did the right room, like way earlier.
And then
I was actually thinking I would start with Ikage, you know, because that board was not inspiring at all. So when I started in
Yeah.
99th, so Jakey went for the Highway Zero straight up. I was like, okay, I'm going to get a few souls in 99th and then do whatever. So I moved to Ikage and I was like, what if I did spray right now? Because I was so bored with the game already. Or not of the game, like of the
Yeah,
board.
we saw a lot of early graffitis
Yeah.
in this game as well, which is cool. Ryomi's always a fan.
Sylvie
Yeah,
started
graffiti is
on
the-
graffiti
is-
both games, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the most fun part of bingo, really. So I wish there were like boards with even more graffiti than this.
But hey, at least the game didn't finish in like 5 minutes. So
Yeah.
Game
Good
was
game.
well
Mr.
fucking-
Jakey was very happy about that.
Yeah, this game was, I said it previously, but for you to hear as the players, this was the best game of the season. So
Yeah.
it was an absolute delight to watch.
The game 2.
Game, I would say
I mean,
maybe game
both,
1 was just that
honestly.
little bit better because the board
Okay.
didn't suck.
Okay.
The board in game 2 kind of sucked, but
Right,
game
well-
1, I think it was fantastic. But as a match, this was brilliant.
Okay. I'm glad.
Yeah, this was pretty fun to
Good.
play as well.
Good
Game 2
bingo
was
contest.
skill issue galore, but you know,
All of the skill issues make it so much more fun.
yeah.
But yeah,
like
I mean, the
SG
strategy was
level.
fantastic. Definitely, I wanna hear some of the machinations of Ace's mind over the course of that game. I'll have to try and talk to them about it because there was some really interesting strategy going on.
Ace sniping me the Sky Dino souls was so big.
Yeah, that was so good.
I like skill issued entering Sky Dino and didn't have a boost. So I was like 5 or 6 seconds slower than I should have been getting to grind. And it mattered. Because I was
It did
very,
matter,
very
yeah.
close.
I did not expect the grind 50 snipe to happen, but it did.
Yeah,
GG.
we were like, why is Ace and Sky Dino? And then they get the squares and we're like, oh, we know now why.
The read. It was for the read.
I think,
Yeah,
I think you should have gone to
I
grind
actually
first,
want to go.
but-
I want to watch this back again just so I can figure out some more of the nuances of the strategy because it was just so good. I really enjoyed this one.
That's good.
Why
That's
did you
good.
Why did you go for points over or tricks over grind in Sky Dino?
Because that's my unlock route.
Okay.
Literally just for the combo grind and tricks pickup. I'll do grind on green rail, tricks on the loop, and then pick up tricks, then grind in that order, and then use the out of map to leave.
I think the better route is you can go to grind and unlock it on the way, and then at grind you can do the tricks combo on the upward rail, and then just
No, that's ridiculous. Get this out of here. Yeah, it's probably better. I think I've routed that before,
Mhm.
but no, I refuse.
also I think that grind is the higher priority square for you. So like getting sniped for grind
was
is
it?
not
I have no
really
idea.
a bigger deal. Well, grind was in the big
Yeah, so it's on the
Yeah.
Oh well, you know, I didn't really think anybody would be out there as well, so I was just like, yeah, I'm just picking up some squares.
I just
I'll
did
pick
Highway
2
Zero.
of them up.
What do you mean?
Oh,
Okay.
Sky Dino's way out there. It's early.
I was already okay. Sure.
Right, so we've reached the limit, unfortunately, of this taster of what the JSRF Bingo podcast would be like if we hadn't subscribed to our Patreon that doesn't exist.
Oh,
We do have some planned downtime. We have a halftime show, if you will, between our 2 matches, which is brought to you by the wondrous machinations of Ace Bats. And yeah, we're gonna take a little break because I gotta commentate the next match. So we're all gonna take a little break, stretch our legs, drink some water, touch some grass, if you are so inclined, and hand it over to Ace Bats for the halftime show. Oh, we got pinball first. Cool.
Yeah, I think that's the
We're a
plan.
very professional organization. But yes, there will be things on the stream in between the games. I don't know what they are, but they will be happening.
Exciting.